Hello and welcome back to Trigger Happy Havoc. When we heard that voice, we all spun round to look.
Hey.
I'm here, and no rule's been broken. Kyoko? Kyoko? You're still alive? No, it's a ghost! Stop talking. If you want to fight, do it at the class trial. You need to save some of the fun for later, right?
What?
But is it okay that there's no particular penalty for being late?
Is that right?
I made it here just fine. What school regulation did I violate? Am I wrong? Oh, so selfish. So spoiled. You're right, there's no penalty, officially. But I bet you'll be sorry later.
Shing!
No, I'll make sure you're sorry later. Anyway, hustle your butts onto the elevator. I'll just be one step ahead of you. When Monokuma was gone, we all rushed up to Kyoko. Kyoko! So you really didn't die?
Indeed.
Of course I didn't die. Thank God. I'm so glad you're okay. Perhaps, but that's not necessarily a good thing for us. Huh? He's right. Now we gotta deal with a ghost. I told you to stop talking.
Let's go.
Come on, let's just go. Whatever we need to discuss, we can do it at the trial. And without ever looking directly at Kyoko, Byakuya stepped into the elevator. Master, wait for me! Good call. Who knows what might happen to us if we take too long.
But...
I'll be happy when this trial is over. One after another, everyone piled into the elevator, but I couldn't help myself. I had to talk to Kyoko before the trial started. Listen, before we get started, I have to ask you, where have you been this whole time? You used that key of yours to go somewhere, didn't you? So
Correct.
I went to investigate the second floor of the dorms. Second floor?
That's right.
There aren't any monitors or cameras there, so I was able to avoid Monokuma completely. Of course, I also missed his announcement because of that. I had no idea a body had been discovered. Then when did you find out?
So...
Just now. I finished my search and came back down just in time to hear the class trial announcement. I took some time to go over the crime scene first. Can't go to a trial completely uninformed, can I? That's why you were late.
However...
I'm sorry I kept you all waiting. But if you're on the second floor of the dorms... That's what the key you found goes
Wrong.
to? Actually, to be precise, not quite.
In other words...
I used Monokuma's secret tool, which can pry open any lock in the school. What? Okay.
Just a second!
What are you two doing? Hurry up before we get in trouble with Monokuma.
Makoto.
We can go over all the details after we get through the trial, okay, Makoto? Right now, I just want to focus on surviving our current
It
situation.
would seem...
Because this is probably the single most crucial moment so far for me. For her? That's a strange way to put it. Class trial's important for everyone, right? Why would she say it's a crucial moment for her?
Goodbye.
Well, if that's all. Seemingly unconcerned, Kyoko made her way to the elevator. I'm just overthinking what she said, right? Being the last one left, I stepped onto the elevator. Alright, let's do this dance. And the doors slid shut. This time the clunking was loud enough to hurt my ears and the dread began to consume me once again. I can't even imagine ever getting used to the mental pressure that comes with preparing for an execution. In that dusky darkness, no one said a word. We stood there, silent and still. And after an immeasurable period of time, the doors opened without warning. A dazzling light penetrated every depth of my eyes. It wasn't the illuminating light of hope. It was the blinding light of despair.
I can't wait!
I've been waiting for this. Feels like forever since we got together like this. It's time for pointless jokes and jabs has passed. Let's get on with the show! And so the curtain opened for the 5th time. A deadly judgment. A deadly deception. A deadly betrayal. A deadly riddle. A deadly defense. A deadly fate. A deadly class trial. Savey. Alright, I got 2 extra skill points to play with. That costs 3, that costs 2. Yeah, why the hell not? Don't think I've got anything else unlocked. Yep, that's fine. Might as well make maximum use of available points. Let's dance this dance.
Let's begin with a basic. If you
We
can
know.
figure out who done it,
You don't
I'll
have to
punish
tell us
everyone
every
this-
goddamn time.
Well,
Well then, let's discuss the specifics of the victim. First, we need to clarify who exactly the unidentified victim is.
It's Kyoko. There's no other explanation.
She's there, moron.
But Kyoko's standing right there.
No! That's a ghost!
You're an idiot.
But she has legs and stuff.
Well, that's just because she's like the latest evolution in ghost technology!
You're an idiot. Shut up.
There's a limit to how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
For once, I agree with the twat. Okay?
Okay. So I just have to prove that the corpse isn't Kyoko, right?
Yup.
Then let's compare Kyoko's traits to the traits of the dead body.
Well, this is just
Her
dumb.
traits?
I'm gonna go with the gloves.
I got it! I'm talking about her gloves. They'll give us some insight into the mystery. I'm sure of it.
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
And would you happen to know the answer?
Monokuma told
In
us.
fact, Monokuma told me. Apparently you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Oh! You know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing any gloves, right?
Correct.
They probably just got burnt up in the explosion.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
I'm
No.
not convinced. The ghost is just trying to fool us all.
Kyoko, can you please just go around there and smack him so we can move on to an actual salient point of this case? There's no way the corpse was Kyoko. But I can't prove why. We're going to be stuck here and the case won't move forward. So I don't have any choice but to... Seriously, we're going full on... Oh, well. Okay.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
There's a pretty obvious reason why she couldn't have been wearing gloves.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
Because she had
the dead
fake
body
nails.
wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Nope.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Nope.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
Can't have been.
No, that's wrong.
Fake nails. You can't wear... Well, you can, but only if you're bloody careful.
No. There's no way the corpse was wearing gloves. Whoever it was, they were wearing fake nails, remember? I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big pain. Besides, Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right? It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails, don't you think?
Jeez, man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like that.
You're an idiot.
If anyone doesn't know women, it's you.
Well, Kyoko, any thoughts?
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life.
How the hell did you afford
If I
that?
wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Then that's that. The dead body doesn't belong to Kyoko.
Good. Can we move the hell on?
Which should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
Yeah.
Okay, so then, who's the real victim? First, we need to figure
It's
that
the
out.
ultimate soldier.
That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
For anything, we have to identify the victim. Everything starts from there. We have an easy identifying mark. She has the Fenrir tattoo. Tattoo, thank you. I love the fact sometimes I can tell what the truth bullet that I'm going to need will be. Because it's bleeding
Kyoko
obvious.
really is still alive. Then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out. I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition.
The face was indeed
And
scorched
there
beyond
wasn't any
recognition.
description in the Monokuma file. Well, if we can't identify the body...
Then there's nothing else we can do, right?
Nope, we can identify the body. We just need to use
Kyoko,
the
really?
tattoo.
There's gotta be... I don't think so. And there wasn't any...
I just need to actually remember to shoot it this time. There we go.
Identify the body.
Bingo.
No, that's wrong.
Love the fact I haven't actually had to use the
There was
silenced
one
gun
clue
thing
left
at all.
behind that we can use to identify the body.
What? For real?
Yup.
If you're lying, you'll die a cruel and unusual death.
Yes, thank you, Toko.
Cruel and unusual death. This I gotta see.
She's just being stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
Oh yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog?
It's a wolf's head.
Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
You know, Toko, I think you have serious issues.
Seriously? They really did something that humiliating?
Nope.
No, that's not it. The identity of the victim is hidden within that tattoo.
Oh, really?
Yup. We have Yeah, that should prove it. Profile.
I got it! The Fenrir Mercenary Corps. That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Okay, so
they all had a Fenrir
To
tattoo.
show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
Fenrir?
The image that represents Fenrir is... Oh god, a blade in Handman's Scabbard. Fenrir is a wolf. At least that was an easy one.
Now I understand. The representation of Fenrir is a wolf.
Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge, world-ending wolf beast. He's the child of the trickster god Loki, and a female giant.
Yes, actually, I think she's right.
man, after all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-star.
A wolf tattoo. Then that means...
Exactly. The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf.
Which heavily
means
implies
that
it's
person
her.
must have once belonged to Fenrir. So it must have been Mukuro.
What?
Hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
Nope. No, I still
sound
I still think I know
You're
who's behind this because of
absolutely right.
cosplayers.
Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
Are you saying the mastermind is dead?
Oh god, no, she's not the
Now we have to
mastermind.
have a coup
She's just been
after all?
hiding the whole damn time.
No, it means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
But I mean, being the ultimate
She
despair
isn't the
seems
ultimate
like a
despair.
pretty mastermindy title to me.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place. After all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description.
So why did Kyoko say
All
that
it
she
said
was?
was that she was the ultimate soldier. If I remember correctly, that other information came from Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
And who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this whole time, and when she finally turns up, she gets killed. Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character?
Nope.
Which would mean she was the same as us. Just another participant.
Then who's the real mastermind?
I say I know because of
It must
cosplayers.
have been the Hope's Peak
Stupid,
Academy
sexy
headmaster
cosplayers.
after all.
For the record, I am referencing something very specific with the line "stupid, sexy cosplayers."
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
My information was not wrong.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first
Yeah, we
and
can
foremost.
deal with this later.
Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
Fine. Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this. No matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation.
Probably
Now
for the
then,
best.
Just so nobody's
Oh, for
confused,
God's sake. If you're about to state
let
the
me
goddamn
this
rules
one more
again.
time for the record. The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place. Hammer that point straight into your big ol' brains!
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Wait, no! There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along!
Seems unlikely.
Nope! There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
Seriously? Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Yup.
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
We don't know.
Get a
We
hold
can
of
figure that
yourself.
out.
We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects. I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
Me and Kyoko are the only ones without alibis.
I got it! You've narrowed it down to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm that at that point, there was no dead body there.
Yup.
So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
That's right. The four of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, the four of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis
Are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
Yup.
exactly so.
So the only suspects are now me and Kyoko. Damn it, I can't let this stand. I have to clear my name.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Yes.
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want. Somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at... Well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock. So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
Logical.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body?
Which was about
Oh,
9.
What time did we find the body?
About
The
9.
one who saw the body first was Toko, right? And she went to go get the pickaxe.
It was about 9 o'clock.
I got it! The body must have been discovered at 9 a.m., since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
Yup. Now then, Toko, what time is it? Well, when we left the gym, it was just before 9 o'clock, so it's probably 9 on the dot now. Go and get the pickaxe. Be back here by 9:01.
He's right. It had to be around then.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
Yep.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was around...
7.
Oh yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which
Okay.
means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m.
Don't need
you
one.
don't have an alibi.
The murder happened between 10 p.m. and 9 a.m. I don't have an alibi from 7 p.m. till 7:30 a.m. Looks like the game has begun. Can't provide an alibi for that period. Just have to prove the murder didn't happen during the time I don't have an alibi for. So I need to make it clear when the body ended up in the garden. Break out the sprinklers. God, that's a lot of dead people.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night
Yup.
and
Actually-
9 o'clock in the morning.
Probably shoot 10 o'clock at night thanks to
And
the
Makoto
sprinklers.
doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think.
Granted.
So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
Yep, I know which statement there is incorrect.
We've established a time frame. It took place
Somewhere between
10 o'clock.
Actually, it took place sometime after 7:30.
Actually, the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
And what makes you say that?
A, blood was still wet.
Because of the sprinklers in the garden.
But yeah, that's the
The
big one.
sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold on! I remember this part perfectly. The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
Only
Sorry,
the upper
Toto,
half.
but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? How? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet? How dare you spew such indecent words!
You're weird.
No, I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
Bucket of water.
What do you mean? By denying the sprinkler, are you trying to deny my entire existence?
Christ, woman. See a psychiatrist, for the love of God.
Man, you're totally wacko.
If you really think it wasn't the sprinkler, you'd better tell us why!
Because the reason the body was wet, all they have to do is hit her with some evidence. That should do it. All we have to do is look at the body itself. That should make it clear. Oh God, it's one of these. I hate these ones.
I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no!
Thank you, extra
Don't know
focus meter.
anything.
Final strike.
How can you say it wasn't the sprinkler?
This should prove it.
Down you go. Yes, psychopathic lunatic.
Just remember what the body was like after the explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers. The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry. If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
You'd have thought so.
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a brutal maniac!
Yeah, that was a result
I'm
of the bucket
so
of
sick
water
of
I
her.
dipped on her.
Let's just move on. The reason only the top half was wet was because while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
Oh, then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
Thank you.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
Yep.
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this
So
morning.
I have an alibi for the time of the
So
murder.
there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
Thank you.
In which case, the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
There's a difference between implying she's the only one who could have done it and actually proving she was the one who did it. Kyoko's the only one without an alibi. Which means that Makura's killer is... No, I refuse to believe it. Kyoko murdered someone?
I'd
That's...
just like to say one thing. If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen.
Obviously. Huh?
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
Agreed.
A trap?
We're this far into the game and now you decide to blame me? Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
You got it, boss! Shutting up now!
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Huh? She did?
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything. So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko? But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial, something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So, that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
Again, circumstantial at best.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
Oh, thanks.
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
Body could have been moved. In fact, the
What
body
are you-
probably was moved, given the
As
lack
you
of blood at the
see,
scene.
There is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
And I still think Toko moved it.
Interesting. I'm listening.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
The top. Ah, it wasn't moved, but it was covered with the top. Okay. That does actually make sense.
I got it! You're talking about the tarp, aren't you?
You catch on quick. You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that. Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water. The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean.
You'd think some blood would have gone
This
on it.
proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
Okay. Not good. Why would she say that? Why would she want to make me look like the killer? No, I can't think about that right now. That tarp. If it was used the way Kyoko said, it must have touched the body, right? But the body...
Wait. Something's not right.
I say the blood's
And what might
off
that
there.
be?
I can't worry about Kyoko's motivations. If I don't do something, everyone's going to think I'm the killer. I have to refute what Kyoko said. Break out the truth bullets. This has to be about the blood, right?
By covering the body with the tarp,
Okay, it's got nothing to do with
the killer
the
prevented it
explode
from
body,
getting
so it's going
wet.
to be prior to the explosion.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water.
Yes.
Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
But it should have. It should have got blood stains on it.
Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it. Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Byakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Yup.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
Then they'd have washed both
If
sides.
they had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh, yeah, true.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
You mean you think the blow to the head was the fatal one, and then the knife wound? That could explain why there wasn't a massive amount of blood. Huh? The blood was camouflage?
What if, after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
You mean someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that?
Nurse's office, same thing that Hifumi
I
did
know.
2 cases
They could
ago.
have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office.
There you go.
That's what Hifumi did, right? When he pretended to be dead?
No, that's not what happened this time. The killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
Dead chicken? I assume you're referring to the missing chicken. 'Cause, I mean, yeah, chicken blood would get the job done.
I got it! Could it have been chicken blood?
What? Chicken blood?
Yep.
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens. But after the murder, there were only 4.
So, you're saying someone killed a chicken? And then covered the body with its blood?
Apparently.
Man, that's messed up.
No kidding.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense. You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right?
Yep.
But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body. But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it.
I have more evidence for my theory. And I'll expand on that in the next part, because we've overrun this one slightly. So, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next part.